REI touts itself as this progressive company. It touts itself for its values and then is not willing to follow through on them when it comes to the rights of its workers.
And I don't understand how you can be a forerunner in a progressive movement if you're not also on the side of labor rights.
I think unionizing is in agreement with the co-op way, REI's stated values. One of them is courageously embracing change, and that's what we're hoping to do. Right now, we're trying to hire new folks, and we can't because the floor of where our wages are is just too low to incentivize people to come work at REI.
There's quite a discrepancy in the amount that each of us earn.
I know there were a couple of people that started after I did who were hired on the same position, and whether it's favoritism, whether it's race, whether it's anything like that, got paid quite a bit more than I did, quite a bit more than my other coworkers, my other brown coworkers who were hired at the same time that I was.
To be really transparent, I'm under the year mark. I'm out earning someone who's been at the store for 10 years.
We're constantly understaffed and so overworked.
We are so understaffed that part-time employees are working 40 hours a week.
I would like to see all of the people who are working as effectively full-time employees earning the same benefit as I get as a full-time employee. I get better rates of part-time off accrual. I get better sick pay accrual. I get better health benefits. If there's a holiday, I get paid more just for it being a holiday. If you're working full-time but only getting part-time benefits because you're classified as a part-time worker, that to me doesn't seem fair.
We want accountability for HR, right? So we've had complaints of sexual harassment and instances of racism, and the question is, who is overseeing how that is handled?
I go day by day wondering whether or not somebody will call me by the right name. I get called many different names, whether it's my fellow brown coworkers' names or if it's just a made-up Hispanic name that somebody makes up on the spot. With union representation, I really think that I will be able to hold people accountable for any sort of injustices they cause against me or any of my fellow coworkers, which is just outrageous that we're just letting pass by with a sorry and a pat on the back. One of their anti-union tactics were to leave some flyers on employees' cards, on employees' windshields during the workday, which is extremely invasive.
It starts with, did you ask the company what you wanted before deciding that a union was a better option to get what you want? This is the essence of it all to me, right? Of course we have, over years and years and years and decades that preceded me.
Unions may pit workers against companies. If we were mad at the company, if we were unsatisfied with the company, we'd just leave. But we're invested in this company. We want to come together and collaborate with C-suite executives and with our store managers in a way that really hasn't been offered to REI employees.
When Soho first unionized, they had a podcast where they had a Land Acknowledgement Act, and they talked about their pronouns, which was never done in a REI podcast before.
For those of you who I have not had the chance to meet, I use he, him pronouns, and I'm speaking to you today from the traditional lands of the Coast Salish peoples.
And you could tell that they were kind of doing that just because REI Soho unionized, and then that was kind of like their response, like, oh, we're doing better now, we're being more woke or something.
So when people ask, why don't we support unions? My answer is simple. We do not oppose unions. It's that we don't believe, I do not believe, that introducing a union is the right thing for REI.
It does a great job of illustrating the progressive front that REI puts up in terms of wanting to be an ally, wanting to stand by women, and yet that progressive voice is lost when it comes to the welfare and well-being of their workers. They say that they care about making sure that their workers are well, and yet when talk of a union comes in, suddenly they bring up dues and they focus on, you might lose your healthcare benefits. All of these ideas that are just nonsensical.
How much of REI's core values that it was established with in 1938 are still there for real? and how much of it is virtue signaling to its customer base? How much of it is a veil that covers what is underneath like an incredibly corporate structure?
Who knows what's to come from this election now that REI Soho unionized and we get the Bay to unionize. It just really allows REI across the nation to really stand up for what they believe in and to use their voice that they have.
If you want your employees to be stewards of the co-op, then you should abide by what the majority of them at the store want, which is to be in a union. It's that simple.